Welcome to Sestra-Tainment.
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today with all entertainment topics. I won't even go into which ones they are because it's just so
It's
many.
everything.
It's a little bit of everything.
Social media, movies, TV,
TikToks,
music,
anything.
like everything.
Instagram, the whole 9 yards.
The
We're
news,
here for
whatever.
It. Yep.
Anything
if
that's
it's going
entertaining.
On, we're going to talk about
Exactly.
it. And sis, you're going to go first.
All right. So my first thing I want to talk about is Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
She's back.
Oh my God. Let me
back.
just say this. That is my favorite show of all time.
Mrs. Maisel. Okay.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Okay.
My Maisie.
You
Like
love
I just love her. I love everything about the show.
What are you gonna do when the show ends?
Stop. Why would you even say that? Why
it's
are you putting that cloud over top of my head?
It's going to happen at some point. The show's going to have
Nope. She's gonna be like Jane Fonda and be like 80-something years old and still be doing Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody
That's
says.
going to be her only... She's going to be like the Grey's Anatomy.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Ellen
yes.
Pompeo, I think is how she said her last name. But she's going to be like her 20 years, Maisel.
Yeah, I don't care. It has to be Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Okay.
Like, it's... So, but the thing that I don't like is that they drop 2 episodes and it's like new episodes every Friday.
Oh, they're not doing the whole
I can't
drop at once.
binge watch? Oh my God.
But you know what? That's better. For somebody like you who loves it so much.
But I'll just watch it over and over again every day. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's better to just, take your time with it over weeks as opposed to just watching it all in one weekend and then you already know everything.
Yeah,
and you had to wait so long.
I know it felt like forever.
Yeah. So.
One tear.
Oh, one tear.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, oh, that's new because how do you do 3 seasons of just dropping it?
Yeah.
And now you're doing 4th season, 2 episodes. Wait for it every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
Yeah, but Hulu does the wait for it. HBO does the wait for it.
That's
and
them.
They're what, Amazon? What is
Yeah,
she on? Amazon
she's on
Prime?
Amazon, but that's them. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, be your own person. It's okay. You're already your own person, so.
Got it.
I'm just hurt about that.
Yeah. But is it good so far, what you've seen?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you just know it's come out, but you're just waiting.
I'm trying to debate on if I want to watch and wait, or if I just want it to all come out, and then I just binge watch it. But then I'm just like, I know people are going to talk about it and they'll
you don't
be
want
mad.
to get spoiled with certain things. So yeah, I think you should just go ahead and
do the 2 episodes and then just wait till
maybe
next
wait for
Friday.
3. Wait for next Friday. But look, after next Friday, watch it on Wednesday. So you got 3 episodes.
Okay.
Watch it on Wednesday. Only another day, and then you can go
then
ahead and watch the 4th.
I know, then I gotta wait a week.
I know, but
So
this
sad.
is about patience.
Yeah, it's not a virtue for me.
Well,
not when it comes to Maisie.
This is about growth.
I am Susie on the inside. Understand this.
You're Susie.
I'm Susie on the inside. I've already talked about this before. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, great show, has a great cast. It's I don't know. I mean, it's based in the 50s into the 60s, and it's about this woman who comedy career takes off after her husband leaves her, and she has to make her own money and do her own thing, and then she ends up having a friend who is a manager who is Susie.
Yep, Susie.
Yeah, Susie is played by what's her name? Alex. Oh God, Bornstein.
Bornstein. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and Susie is awesome.
Susie is, yeah, and she's won awards for that portrayal of Susie as well.
Them two could just have a show. Mm-hmm. They can be the Grace and Frankie of Amazon Prime.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I was telling you that I was watching an old episode of Frasier and saw Susie on there. And I was like,
yeah. And then you said on there, her name was Susie. Yeah,
and her name. No, she was talking to Susie on the phone. Yeah, and I was just like, Dee, guess who this is? Because, it was from, probably 20 years ago.
Yeah. Alex has been around forever. Mm-hmm. She was on Mad TV. And I loved her on Mad TV. She was so funny. Like, Mad TV was actually one of those shows that, like, kind of took off but really didn't. It was trying to be like an SNL, but
just wasn't going to get there. Yeah. I never watched it. Really? Like, maybe one episode or something like that, but it just seemed a little too corny or too...
Yeah. It was like a... kind of like Whose Line Was It? Was it Whose Line Is It Anyway? Kind of feel on it, where it's just like... It just felt like everything was, I know what you're saying.
Maybe it is because everything was ad-lib. Maybe it wasn't as much of a script.
Probably so.
Where, Saturday Night Live, they have that script and they're just following it and following cue cards and you see them reading the cue cards. And for some reason, that doesn't bother me. But then I think of Larry David and Curb Your Enthusiasm where they have basically no script.
Yeah, it's just this is the gist of it. And then you just go ahead and we're just going to have a conversation. You throw out stuff, I throw out stuff. So, it's like improv.
Through without breaking.
But no, I did like Mad TV. But Susie,
Mrs. Maisel, the whole 9 yards.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Everybody check it out. It is on Amazon Prime.
Woohoo!
Just came out Friday. Yeah, Friday.
It was Friday.
Came out Friday. Dropped 2 episodes, and now I have to wait 75 years.
I don't think it's quite that long.
It just feels that long. But no, that was my little short one that I just wanted to talk about.
Sounds
my Maisie. My Maisie. I'm excited.
I'm so glad that you're excited about
Super
Maisie.
Excited. Super.
And then you're going to watch it over and over and over again, like you said.
Yes.
You'll probably know all the words of the entire season after like 2 months. But okay, so I will next give some more Black History updates.
Okay.
And so last week, I know we talked about, both of us actually, about different types of inventions that were created by African Americans post-slavery. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was kind of continue. So I kind of went through this list of like an A through Z of different things that Black people have created. Okay. And so I started with A through E. So today I'll go F through, let's see how far I get. Yeah. And then next week I'll finish out the list. So one of the things is a fire escape ladder was created by Joseph Winters in 1878.
Huh. Okay.
So that's important. The
saving lives.
Yep, saving lives. The fire extinguisher, Thomas Marshall, 1872. The folding chair, Nathaniel Alexander, 1911.
Huh.
Yep. Then you have the fountain pen, Walter Purvis, 1890.
I didn't know that.
Yep. The furniture caster, I can't talk, David that? Fisher, 1878.
What's a furniture caster?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to Google that one. Because I was almost thinking like it was like a furniture, like, not a mold, but like something that it gives the form or the shape of the furniture. But I don't know. You Google that while I continue. A gas mask, which is Garrett Morgan, 1914. The hairbrush, Lydia Newman in 1898. The hand stamp, Walter Purvis, 1883. Just imagine how many clubs you went into and got a hand stamp.
Yeah.
And it was because of Walter Purvis, They knew you came in, you come out as you please. All right. Then you have the ice cream scoop by Alfred Crowell, and that was 1897. The insect destroyer gun, it was Albert Richardson in 1899. An ironing board, Sarah Boone, 1887. The keychain, Frederick Loudon, 1894.
Well, a keychain was made in the 1800s.
The 1800s.
A keychain?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, you got to think of all of the different sheds and homes and different things that had it. But then you had the guy who just like had to create a door that would lock because
exactly,
I'm gonna play a video from Auntie Bev. And so she's on TikTok. So if anybody wants any additional Black history in regards to different inventions and things of that nature, she talks about how the the locking door used to be only for rich people. So only the rich people would have a door that would lock. And so for the commoners, there was a gentleman a black man who created the locking door.
Oh, okay.
And so that way everybody could have that in their home. And so that's probably when a keychain would have become even more popular. popular as well, because the rich people may not have even needed to care as much about somebody coming into their home or having security or guards or something like that. But
so,
what is a furniture
I just
caster?
Googled furniture caster. It's the wheels.
Oh, the caster wheels. Yeah.
Didn't know that's what they were called.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay, there you go.
Caster wheels. Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought it was like wheels on the furniture. I didn't know it was a name for it.
Yeah, they have a name for it, so there you go. And then I'm going to play a brief video from Auntie Bev. She is actually under @BevSpeaks on TikTok, and she speaks right now, as I play this, about hush puppies and where they were created. So let's play that.
All right.
Hey, Auntie Bev here. If you live in the South, you undoubtedly recognize these as hush puppies. Well, did you know that hush puppies have a unique tie to slavery? According to some research, I found that the slaves would use hush puppies on the trail as they were running away. It was a distraction for the bloodhounds who were trying to track them down. It would be to hush the puppy. Who knew? Well, I think I know, and now you know.
I follow Auntie Bev.
You follow Auntie
She
Bev?
does words. She does words,
She does
yeah.
different words. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
I've
So
been learning so many words from her.
she has the most amazing words that she comes, and that doesn't come up with, that she's just educating people on different words.
She's like a word of the day calendar.
Yes.
She's a word of the day social media.
She is amazing. So I would say definitely, I'm following her too now. And shout out Jessica, our sister in love, because she is the one who gave me, she sent me a link on the hush puppies, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I never knew that story, but you were saying you had heard about that.
I've heard about that like a long time ago, but then last night, everybody who I knew was just talking about like, yo, did you hear about like hush puppies? I'm like,
yeah, I knew about hush puppies.
I knew that was a thing.
Well, they don't teach our history in school, so therefore we wouldn't
but then
know
it's
the
just
history
like,
of that.
But it's just crazy how I'm just like, social media takes one thing and then everybody hears it, and then everybody wants to talk about it. And
because that one story of hers was looked at almost 500,000 times, 383,000 times, that story about hush puppies. So it's definitely spreading like wildfire. And so, but yeah, I'll say Bev Speaks is her name. She goes by Auntie Bev, and she does words of the day. She does pachiloquent. That was one of the words that she had. That's one of the she has tagged. That's 2 million views. So definitely check out Auntie Bev. She's amazing. And it's very educational. And during Black History Month, she's adding additional stories. That's where the one about the door lock came from, Auntie Bev, and things of that nature. So anyway, so just wanted to share some Black history facts with everyone. And I'll continue on next week's with some more inventions. And who knows, maybe Auntie Bev will come out with a new story that we can share next week as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, sis, back to you.
All right. So I also have a TikTok person.
Okay.
That I want to talk about. His name is @Adam.McMaster.
Okay, Adam.McMaster.
Yes, and what he talks about is how the human brain works. So one of the things is, okay, if you hear a song, like in your head, is it the person singing it, or is it your own voice singing it?
What, you mean like if I hear it playing on the radio? Well, normally I'm singing so loud with it.
No. I mean like, so if you have a song stuck in your head, like you were going around singing like Hamilton for the longest time. Was it the Hamilton people singing it, or was it your voice singing it?
In my head?
Yeah, in your head.
That's a tough story. I feel like it was a mixture, I feel like, in a way, but I feel like it was them singing it and still me singing along in my head a little bit. Like, that, I don't know what that means, but But I think that if it's something I don't know as well, because you know me, I'm a person who knows all the words to a lot of songs.
Yeah, you hear one song and you know it for
weird like
forever.
That.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. It's very strange. But once I know the words, and I can't get them out of my head. So I'm almost thinking that if it's a song I don't know the words to, then I'm going to hear that person.
Okay.
But then if I do know the words like the back of my hand, then it probably is a mix. Or maybe I am listening to myself and I just never thought of it that way.
Okay. Yeah, because if I hear a song, like right now, if I'm thinking about Prince singing a song, I'm hearing Prince in my head. I'm
Yeah.
not hearing me singing Prince in my head.
Right, because who wants to hear that when you think about
Yeah,
it?
exactly,
But
yeah.
but when I think of like, right, Purple Rain, I'm hearing him singing Purple Rain.
Yes.
You're right. Yeah, I'm not even singing along with that, and I know all the words of that.
Yeah.
But I bet you if you thought of it in the tone of karaoke,
You still hear Prince?
You still
if
hear
I'm
Prince?
if I'm doing karaoke, the entire time that I see the words, I am hearing Prince singing the words. It's just coming out of my mouth and my voice.
yeah, that's true. Because you do hear it. You do read the words and hear the lyrics because you're trying to sound as much like the original person
exactly.
as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that makes sense. So what did this guy say?
So no, he was just talking about how the brain works. There are people who are different, where it's like some people can hear it in like hear themselves singing in their head, and then some people can actually hear the artist singing in their head. Another one was, all right, if you're thinking of someone who says like they're thinking of hold on. All right. When you're thinking of what someone says,
Okay.
do you think of the contents of what they're saying, or are you just playing back what that person said?
When I think of what someone said,
Yeah, so if I'm like, hey, I gotta go and put gas in my car, are you thinking of me actually
physically putting gas in your car,
Are
or
you
am
just
I thinking
thinking
of
about
the sentence that you said?
Yeah.
I think personally, gosh, that's a weird one. I think that I think of the sentence, but I do feel like I might think of the action later. Like, I don't know. It depends on what's my best recall.
Okay, yeah.
I can't really describe it, but it might be like, gosh, what did Dee say she was getting ready to do? And then maybe it'll pop into my head that it was like gas. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, she's going to be.
But are you picturing it or are you not picturing it?
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
I do
the thing.
picture it.
You picture me putting gas in my car.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like if you're telling me, oh, I have to go put gas in my car, I'm just like, oh, okay, she says she has to go put gas in her car. I'm not thinking of you being at the gas pump putting gas in your car.
I only thought of it just now as I'm trying to like talk about it. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to. But then you don't want to think about it too much. But I don't know if I would think as soon as you said, "Oh, I got to put gas in my car," that I'm gonna think of you standing outside in a cold.
Yeah,
in February.
I got a better one. When someone says blue, do you see the word or do you just see the color blue? You're thinking too long.
No, because I was thinking of a different color because I was like, now after I heard it, what am I thinking? But I think I see the color.
You see the color, okay.
I think I see the color.
So it's weird. So I see the word, but the word is blue. The word is the color blue.
Ah. Yeah, I can see that too. But that's where it throws you off on some of those tests. I love this kind of stuff, by the way, because I was a psychology major.
I know you do. Yeah.
OMG. I love it. So, and how the brain works is just so amazing. So, they'll sometimes do those tests. Well, they'll have the word blue, but it'll be in yellow. And they'll say, pick the color, not the word.
Not the word, yeah.
And you have to reshift how your brain thinks to be like, oh, it's yellow. I got to pick the word blue because the word blue is yellow.
You're reading the word
exactly
and not seeing the color.
The color, orange is red or whatever, and you're just like, oh gosh, this is so tricky because you're so used to.
That frustrates me.
But I have taken tests like that before, and I'm just like, whew, okay, that's a brain strain a little bit.
Absolutely.
But I do feel like I see the color.
You see
Somebody
the color.
says green, I'm thinking green.
The green,
Like the word green.
The word green.
No.
Not the word.
Not the word green. I think the color.
Yeah,
I think the word.
But I see the word in the color green.
So it's both for you. It's both. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But what if it's a color that you don't really know?
Chartreuse.
Yeah, like do you try to think of the word chartreuse?
I will make up my own color. No, I mean like I will make up my own color and make up the own like spelling of the word.
Oh, okay.
But I still see it as whatever that is. I don't even know what color chartreuse is. I'm thinking pink. I don't know. What color is chartreuse?
I don't recall.
Yeah,
off
I don't
the
know
top of my
either.
head. I'd probably have to Google that and see.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm visualizing this, but I'm actually visualizing the word that I don't even know how to spell.
Right. It's a greenish color.
Yep,
Look, I'm showing you now.
Oh, that's like the fluorescent vest.
It's like a bright.
That's like the
greenish
fluorescent
yellow.
vest. It's like a V dot, like standing on the side of the road, holding the stop and slow sign.
How tennis balls look almost
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah.
Like a little bit greener than a tennis ball. But yes, so that's chartreuse. So there you go.
I just
Who knew?
knew the word, didn't know how to spell it, didn't know the color.
Yeah.
People
I'm
knew the
not
word.
big on that. But you know who knew? Auntie Bev knew.
Auntie Bev knew.
And now we do too.
I know, exactly. I love that. All right, so if you think of what you have to do.
Okay.
Like, it's like, okay, now I have to wash these clothes and I have to do this and I have to do that. Are you speaking to yourself in your head, or is it just you get snapshots of pictures of things that you have to do?
I speak it to myself.
Okay, yeah, I speak it to myself too.
Yeah, I speak it to myself. I talk to myself a lot.
Because there is
probably.
no one to talk to.
People ask me why I do
You know what
what I do.
We don't own the rights to that song.
No, we don't own the rights to those
Yeah.
to 5 seconds. But yeah, I do. Now what happens with me though is I have to list it.
Yeah, I know you're a lister.
I'm a lister. So I would have to say, to make sure that I don't miss these things that I have to do, let me put down, okay, I have to clean the bathroom, I have to wash these clothes, I have to do this, I have to do that. Like, I have to put it on a list. I would say 90% of the time I'll put it on a list because I'm too afraid that if I keep it in my head, I won't.
So if you're writing
remember.
it down, do you visualize what you're doing now?
I have to sometimes because then I'm like, oh, what was that other thing I said I had to do? And then I start visualizing, okay,
but just like
clothes,
to
doing
remind
this, doing
yourself.
that.
But I mean,
Yeah.
just like
I don't know.
from the beginning, when you go to make your list, you're just writing stuff down because there's thoughts in your head and
There
it's
are
in your
thoughts,
mind.
but there's action behind those thoughts. So it's not just the thought.
But I mean, but like you're not thinking clothes separated washing machine. You're not seeing yourself doing that. You're just thinking to yourself, Lenora, you have to wash your clothes.
I think that. No, but I do see myself not seeing myself doing it. I don't think of separating blah, blah, blah. I think of, I have to wash clothes and I can see myself carrying clothes to the washing machine. Like, so I think it's both.
That's the
I think
both. So it's like me seeing the word blue, but seeing
so it's
it blue
like I
and blue.
see the action for myself, but it's just like, yeah, I think that I do both because like yesterday, for example, I was leaving a lunch and I was like, shout out Latrice and Quentin. And so anyway, went out with them to lunch. And afterwards, I was like, oh, I got to get an oil change. And I immediately thought of what place I'm getting my oil change at. So visually thinking of that
Visually
in my own
thinking
head,
of that, but not telling yourself.
not telling myself the name of that place.
Yeah,
honestly,
but you're just
even know the
thinking
name of the
like
place. But
Jiffy Lube, Midas.
yeah, I didn't think that. I just thought I could see
Valvoline,
myself
Miss
because
Tuffy,
I
all
go
those
to one of
places.
those places where you stay in the car. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
you just do
yeah.
it. So therefore, I was like, oh yeah, I got to get an oil change, and I could visualize myself in their bay, still sitting in my car. And then I was like, oh, I have to look at the sticker to see if it's due for an oil change, like, and how overdue I am. Like, and all those thoughts just kind of go through, like, flooded through my head in a matter of 2 seconds. So, so I think I see both.
So it's like it starts off with the, oh, I got to get an oil change thought, and then immediately it's the visual.
Yep.
Okay, I got you. All right, so then the last one that he said was, if someone says, I like your outfit.
This whole thing?
Yeah, but I know, that's what I'm thinking.
That's all I
that's
always
all.
say.
I'm just like,
This?
what, thank you, yeah.
Oh, I just got this, that, da.
Yeah. But when somebody says, I like your outfit, are you thinking about your outfit? Or are you thinking about the way that person is perceiving you?
Oh, I'm definitely not thinking about the way somebody perceives me. I could care less about that.
I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah, I would say it's about the outfit, but I'm even more kind of weird where I don't even think of the compliment as much as I immediately look to them and say, "Ooh, what can I compliment them on?"
Yeah. It's like, you give
So
me a compliment.
it's like,
I gotta give
you gave me
back.
a compliment. That's so sweet and nice. Like, I get it for my hair all the time because I have sister locks, and so people will come up and they'll be like, "Oh, your hair is so pretty," you know. And it's like I have no control over it. It comes out my head this way. Number one,
I get that all the time. But me being natural.
Yeah.
Oh my God, your hair is so nice. What do you put in it? It grows out of my head this way. Water. I put water in it. That's what I do.
And I have a loctician who actually takes care of everything.
Yeah.
So other than washing it occasionally, I literally don't do anything with it. So I don't feel like I'm even worthy of the compliment. Because I'm like, I have no control over how it looks.
But then I'm thinking back to it, like, where it's like, well, why do you have to give somebody a compliment? Because they gave you a compliment.
I know. And sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll stop myself and somebody will be like, oh, your hair looks pretty. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And then and I'll just leave it at that. I appreciate that.
Or else to be like,
so
oh,
nice of
thanks.
you.
Like, are you thinking about doing it? Here's my loctician's information. Blah,
Yeah,
blah, blah.
exactly. And sometimes people will come up and just start a conversation. I've given out her number more times than I can think of. But then you almost just feel like, oh, like, should I be complimenting them? Because otherwise, am I being like selfish? Am I being like
but
rude to
you
not
just
say
gotta-
something
yeah,
nice
but
back
not-
to them?
you
Because
just gotta
sometimes
take
you'll
that.
just see something and I have done this before. Like a woman will have like a really nice bag, or
Yeah.
their hair is amazing, or the outfit or something, and they'll compliment me, and then I find myself like, oh, good, because I wanted to tell you anyway, girl, your hair looks amazing, or your outfit is really nice, and I wish I could style things like that, for myself. So I do find that sometimes it feels a little awkward to just accept the compliment.
Yeah.
But again, going back to your original question, I don't have any concerns whatsoever about what they think about me, because that's one thing that I
don't
have
really,
never bought into is what people's opinions
I feel
are.
like I would only think about that if they're just like, oh, look at your outfit.
Look at your little outfit. Ain't that so cute?
As soon as someone says, look at your little, if they put the word little in it, you already know they are putting all the shade. There are so many trees over top of you. It's
There's
all
like
shade.
no compliment there.
Yeah.
It's no compliment. Oh, she bought her little house.
Yeah,
and it's just so cute and quaint.
What?
It's like, that is not even a compliment.
Yeah, that's not a compliment.
Get out of here with that.
That's
Trying to act like you're being nice when you're not.
Yeah, you just start like throwing shade. Like, no. But yeah, it's I feel like I would only think about what that person would, like, I would only think about what that person thinks of me by the way they said it.
Got it.
If somebody's just like, oh, I like your outfit, I'd be like, oh, thanks. Like, oh, I had this for a while. And we wear it.
Oh, I got this at TJ Maxx, or oh, I got this from, I don't know, wherever, Macy's or something. Like, you almost like justify where you got it from in case they were wondering.
Total off topic. If somebody has an ugly baby and you see the person's baby, what would you say about the baby?
I will never, ever, ever say anything about a baby. Like, all babies are cute in their own way.
Okay, so the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and then your mama be holding you, so she thinks you're beautiful.
Oh my gosh!
But no, I'm saying like if somebody's like, oh, you gotta see my baby, and you look at the baby and you're just like, oh boy.
I can't
look at the cute little outfit.
little. You go to the little. That's so wrong. So
look
shady.
at the cute outfit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And
look
you're
at
talking
their
about the
hair.
outfit and not the baby. But no, I mean, all babies are cute. All babies can grow into their cuteness. I'd be like, oh my gosh, how adorable. Because all babies are truly adorable. No matter what. So, I mean, and I don't want anybody to introduce their baby to me and me use the word adorable and they think that I'm saying something that I'm not just because I use that word.
But
because
just
babies
saying,
truly are. They're cute and their little cheeks and they're just so,
I know, like when they get the little fat rolls.
Yeah, it's
but no,
they're a blessing.
I will let people know right now, if I see your baby and you're just like, look at my baby, and I'm just like, look at the outfit.
That means the baby is ugly, because that's what you're basically saying.
Look at what you did to his little hair.
You're so wrong.
I'm not going to tell you your baby's cute. No.
I'll say adorable.
I'm not going to tell you your baby's adorable. I'll be like, look at the little fat rolls. I will mention anything other than the way that
the baby actually looks.
Yeah.
Aww.
Because my thing is, it's like, I don't want to like come off mean.
You don't want to be mean, or you want to be authentic.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's fine. But I was looking at something. Oh, a show I'm going to talk about in the future. Uh-huh. And so one of the essays that she was writing was about, is it always good to tell the truth? Or
no, it is not.
Right. And that was the thing that she was kind of using as an unpopular opinion, which is, yes, you would think the answer would be, sure, it's always good to tell the truth. But the true answer is no. Nobody, it is not always good to tell the truth.
Because people don't always want to hear the truth.
Because you can spare someone's feelings. You can... everybody doesn't always need to hear the truth about every single particular.
Yeah, it's like the term "happy wife, happy life."
Yeah.
That's not telling your wife the truth. That's like basically
telling them what they need to hear to have them be happy.
She's like, "Oh, do I look fat in this? No, baby, you look so good." But then you see,
you look pretty hot and tempting.
Yeah, right.
PHAT.
Yeah, right. But then you see that it's just like, you could go up a size in that shirt, but I can't say that. Yeah. I can't tell her she needs extra large when she's wearing this large.
Yeah, I don't think you probably could.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You can't tell the person. Yeah. You can't.
Well, but you can figure out a way to say something to say, I actually like XYZ outfit better.
Yeah, it's like saying your baby's outfit is cute.
No, but
And
I
that's
mean,
in-
I don't know. Anyway, we gone on a whole.
I know, we went on a whole
We
little
went
rant,
from
I
a
know.
psychological neuro profile to
But yeah, definitely check
telling
out
people that things are ugly and they're too fat. And
But
that's not cool.
definitely check out at Adam.McMaster. That was the one thing that I did see of his that actually caught my eye. I haven't looked at any of his other stuff, so if anything of his other stuff is bad, like don't.
Not your fault.
Yeah, not my fault. I was just talking about this one.
This one thing.
This one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. No, that's good. That's good stuff. I mean, I'll probably start following just because that is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like all of those things are
Absolutely.
pretty cool. So, all right. So, I am next going to talk about a comedy TV show that I've been watching recently called Abott Elementary.
Hey.
And so Quinta Brunson actually is the person who created it, and a lot of people know her from BuzzFeed because she did a lot of stuff, and her name was Quinta on the BuzzFeed skits that she would do. But basically, so Quinta has her own show now. It's on ABC, Abott Elementary.
She's funny.
She's really hilarious. And so basically what it does is follow new teachers, and she's one of the new ones named Janine. And so it's following them on their journey of being school teachers. And so she's from Philly, so she bases the show in Philadelphia. There has a very modern family twist where you see the cameras well, you don't see the cameras, but the cameras are in the room, and you'll see them look at the cameras and talk to the cameras occasionally.
I love
and
that.
all
But
of
see,
that.
I love that.
Yeah, and the principal, she actually speaks in the first episode to say, "Hey, y'all see all the cameras here? We're doing da 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 da, and we're doing da da." Like she's explaining away why the cameras are there, but it's basically because they're wanting to do an expose on inner city schools and how low funding there is and things of that nature, and so that's why the cameras are there for the duration of the show. And so basically the show casts Quinta, as I mentioned, as Janine, Tyler James Williams as Gregory, and Gregory is a substitute teacher who comes in. I don't even know if it's in the first or second episode, but he comes in as the substitute. Oh no, he comes in, I think it's after the first, because they make a joke that the 20 new teachers that started, 3 of them were left. And one of the 3 ended up getting in a fight with a student and was kicking the student in the shin. and got fired.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of teachers that want to kick their students.
Oh my gosh. And then, the other, new teacher was like, that's the one thing you can't put your hands on the kids. You can't touch the kids. That's
as much as you want to.
And she was like, he kicked me first. And you see the whole thing. And it's like all the kids are around them in a circle. Like it's seriously a kid
World
fight.
star.
But it's the teacher and the student. So needless to say, she got fired. So when she got fired, that's when Tyler James Williams joined. And he is, everybody probably knows him from Everybody Loves Chris. Or hates Chris. Everybody hates Chris. So he was the main character in that. You have Janelle James. I've never seen her in anything before, but she plays the principal, Ava Coleman.
Okay.
OMG.
She's funny.
Love her.
Oh, I do know who you're talking about.
She is a mess. Yeah. She's very quick-witted. She'll say certain things. She's always doing TikToks in the principal's office and all of that. And you're like, how in the world did she become the principal? Well, lo and behold, she happened to come across the superintendent of the schools in, let's just say, an inappropriate situation. And based on that, she got the job over Tyler James Williams' character, Gregory, who had applied to be the principal. Was like, I don't know how I didn't get the job. And she did.
I'm qualified, but then she gets it.
And she was like, TikTok. And she's doing all the dances and got her little circle light in her office and all of that. Like, it's insane.
That's funny.
Then you have Lisa Ann, I think it's Walter. Sorry, I'm seeing it with my contacts a little too close. So anyway, Lisa Ann Walter. Now she's hilarious. She is like Italian, Sicilian. She's just like, what do you know? Who do you know? I know a guy. She always knows a guy. Like whatever you need, she knows a guy. And she's like, what are you recording for? What are you doing? You have to tell me if you're the cops. Like that kind of thing. So she's hilarious.
Yeah, I love that.
Then you have Chris Perfetti, and he is Jacob. And so, and Lisa is Melissa. So the teacher, Melissa. And then, so Chris is the other new teacher. So her and, I guess Janine and Chris, going by Jacob, they are, they said they have trauma bonding. Because they're the only ones that are left out of the 20. We're partners in crime. I guess it's trauma bonding. We're here together. And then the incomparable Shirley Ralph as Barbara Howard, and so she is a trip on here. Like, she is very pristine, and straightforward, and and she's like, no, my kids are standing outside in a single file line while y'all are in here running around acting like fools. So therefore, and Quinta's like, wait, let me go out there and look. So she goes and looks at the kids. Hi, Mrs. Whatever. You know, she's like, oh my God,
like,
how in the world do you do this? Yeah. And I'm so enamored by you and what you do. So she actually is just fanning out over Miss Howard. Yeah. So Janine loves Miss Howard.
Because Miss Howard is like, that old school teacher. Old just like, school, I am not, like, she gets the mom mouth, talking through the teeth. I am not going to put up with this.
Exactly. Yes. And so Quinta, well, I keep calling her Quinta, but basically Janine's character.
Yeah, Miss Teets.
She's like, yes, she is just like, oh my gosh, like, you're amazing. And you remind me so much of my school teacher when I was younger and why I wanted to be a teacher and blah, blah, blah. And Shirley Ralph's character, you know, Barbara is just like, okay, whatever. She's like, yeah, did you get my message? Because I was thinking we could do like, no, it must have, you know, got deleted or went to junk mail. Why do all my messages go to junk mail for you? And then you can just see Miss Howard, like, face looking at the camera like, she ain't putting it together that I am not going to participate in lunch with her. But anyway, so it's just really funny. Even the point to Janine actually is like, okay, Mom, I mean, Mrs. Howard. Like, she just loves her so much. And she's like, you know, all the attention that I want to have
that's funny.
From my mom, I also want to have from her. But Quinta's character, she's great. You know, Janine, she has the best of intentions, and all her intentions turn out horribly. Like, every single one. She tries to fix a light fixture. She takes down all the power and all the lights, air conditioning, everything in the building. She, you know, she has where the kids basically just walk all over her. So it's really bad. But she's getting better. But she truly cares. Like, there's heartfelt moments in the show where she's just like, look at this kid. He's literally laying here on the carpet at lunchtime, right? Yeah. And so they're like, oh, why is he laying there at lunch? And then Miss Howard is like, yeah, he did the same when he was in my grade. And so they say because his mom and dad argue all the time at home, and because of the fact that they have like 7 kids in the house, he actually says that the carpet in the classroom is softer than where he has to sleep at home. Oh, God. And so he wants to get that rest while he's in school.
While everybody else
so it
is
talks
eating,
about
he's actually just
like,
a nap.
can I just sleep? Can I just sleep here? Because this is really the only time I'm going to get peaceful sleep. So it's stories like that. They're kind of woven into the show as well that, you know, take you out of the comedy of it all and put the reality of what these teachers and kids face. And even at one point, Cheryl Lee Ralph's character, you know, she says, we have to be everything for these kids. Like, we have to be their social worker, their teacher, their admin. We're a therapist. We're second parents. Sometimes we're the first parents. So she really just says that, you know, there's a lot that they have to do in order to make sure that they help these students get to the next level. Yeah. You can tell all of them are truly passionate because they're like, we're not doing it for the pay. So Miss Howard, she's been there about 20 years. The Melissa character, like I said, strong New Jersey. She's like, you know, making food and stuff like that. Like, has a branzino in the refrigerator at school. It's like, branzino fish? Like, who puts that in here? And you haven't even cooked it yet. And she's like, I'm going to show off to my sister-in-law that I'm going to make the best branzino for our family or whatever. Then Gregory, as the sub-teacher, it's funny, he kind of has a crush on Janine, but she has a boyfriend, so he's kind of keeping his distance. But Janine's boyfriend is a so-called trying to be a rapper who's like way over age for even trying to break into the industry, but whatever. And then the principal, Ava, she keeps hitting on Gregory's character. So everybody hates Chris. Okay, so she's just like, hey, chocolate drop, what's going on? And he's just like, okay.
Brand new Me Too movement happening right there.
It's like she says the most inappropriate things to him. And then he looks at the camera and like after 5 or 6 in one episode, he's like, are y'all getting this? Like, are y'all seeing what I'm seeing? Like this is on recording, right? Because, you know, but it's just, it's a trip. It's a really fun show. I personally like it. I know some people are like, okay, you know, it's just kind of going through the motions. Everybody who is a teacher that I have seen or heard of or even on social media, they all love it. They're like, this is the reality of what we are dealing with. And they have asked, can we have a bunch of people just watch it? Because we don't want a show like this to go off the air because it's the only show that's really on to talk from a teacher's perspective
that's very true.
About what we're dealing with.
But besides that, what was it? The movie with Michelle Pfeiffer? What was it?
What is it
No,
called?
no.
Gangster's Paradise is the song.
Yeah,
that keeps
no,
coming
that's
to
what
my
I keep
head,
thinking.
but I can't
I automatically
think
think Coolio and shit.
of what was the name of it?
Oh God, I can't think of
All
the
right,
name
we're
of
not
it.
going to be able to get it.
Yeah,
But
no.
anyway, so that is
See,
what
this
I
is why
wanted
we
to-
need a guy. We need a guy.
we need a person. We need,
need
a
a
third
guy to
person
just, like,
who can
type
be
in
our
stuff.
producer.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
we're self-produced.
Yeah.
As everybody's like, yeah, we can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're self-produced to be able to do that. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to share. Abbott, if everybody can kind of check out at least a few episodes of it, get some of the numbers up so that way it can be renewed. I don't know if it's in any jeopardy or not, but it is truly a cute little show.
So
for people to
I
watch.
have a little tidbit of information about that. You know how she got the name?
What name?
The name Abott Elementary.
Oh no, how?
So the character that Cheryl Lee Ralph is playing, she actually had a teacher growing up that was like that,
Okay.
and she loved that teacher.
So she was Mrs. Abbott.
She was Mrs. Abbott. So she did an interview. I can't remember who she did it with. I don't know who exactly it was. It might have been like Drew Barrymore's show or something like that, or Kelly Clarkson. But they were just like talking about it, and they were just like, yeah, so like where'd you get the name for the show from? And then she was like, oh, because I had this teacher when I was in like sixth grade, blah 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 blah, and like she was like a great teacher, blah blah blah. And they was like, oh, well, like, do you still talk to her? She was like, no. She was like, she just changed my life. Like, she just helped me out. And they were like, well, look, we have Miss Abbott, and then like the big screen is the lady, and she was like, oh my God, like she was freaking out.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine like how much as teachers, even though you might not feel it every day, but you can literally
but you
be
impact a
impacting
child's
the kid,
life.
and therefore they go off and do these amazing things. And you don't even know that you're the reason behind why they did it.
Exactly.
That's so cool. Oh my gosh. I probably would have teared up watching something like that.
But I'm just like,
pretty.
man, like that is a lot, because now the Miss Abbott probably didn't even know.
Yeah,
you know,
well,
she didn't
she
know
knows
nothing.
she got an elementary school named after her
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I'm saying, but she probably didn't know anything. And then somebody was like, "Hey, you know, there's a new show called Abott Elementary and stuff like that."
I think it's one of your
Yeah,
students.
it's like, wasn't that one of the kids from your school? And then she looks at it, she's like, "Oh my God, it's Quinta! Like, I remember her."
Yeah, exactly.
And
That's
then
so
you
wild.
come and like you see an interview of like her talking about it, and then she mentions that that's where she gets the name from.
Yeah, exactly.
And then now you're on national television.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely check it out.
Yeah.
It's a very good comedy show.
What is it on?
It's on ABC.
ABC.
So if you like a little dry humor,
Yeah.
if you like to think through your humor, everything's
I
not
like-
slapstick right in front of your face, but some of it's like, oh, I see what y'all
yeah, I
did
got
there.
you.
You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that kind of thing. It's really good. And then, like I said, it does have some touching moments in there as well, which is really good. But the movie, Dangerous Minds, Michelle Pfeiffer.
It Minds.
I was like,
I knew it was Criminal Minds
but
is
I was
a TV
like,
show.
that's a TV show.
I knew it was
That's not
something
it.
Minds, but I couldn't remember
think of what it was.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway, all right, back to you, sis.
All right, so I love how we're just like working off of each other. You had a TikTok, I had a TikTok.
Yeah.
You mentioned Philly. I'm about to mention Philly because you know where I'm going to.
Where?
West Philadelphia, born and raised.
On the play yard is where I spent most of my days.
So, I'm going to talk about Bel-Air. Bel-Air is the new show that is on Peacock.
Yep, heard of it.
Just came out, I think, last week. And, it came out on the 13th. And it is the story of Will Smith, doing, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was actually part of Will Smith's life and, like, how, like, he ended up, like, going through his stuff.
With his uncle.
Yeah. But it's that story, but now it's not a comedy. It's not a little comedy sitcom. It's a drama.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so realistic. Yes, there's funny moments and everything in it, but I'm trying to tell you, like, I can't remember who it was, but somebody just did like a little, I guess, YouTube video. Just imagine if Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was a drama, and then from there, Will Smith saw it and was just like, "Yo, we got to do this."
Yeah.
But it is a really good show. It's not like sitcom-y at all. I really, really like it. The cast is great. The people that they have in place is really good. Just to mention some of the people. So Jabari Banks plays Will Smith. You got Cassandra Freeman that plays Aunt Viv. Mm-hmm. You got Jimmy Akingbola who plays Jeffrey, which is so weird because when I watch this, I'm just like, So is Jeffrey like the butler? Is Jeffrey Uncle Phil's friend? Because
That's funny that you say that, because Terry was mentioning that. Shout out Terry. He was mentioning that yesterday at lunch, where he was like, Jeffrey ain't Jeffrey. Like, Jeffrey is a whole different kind of dude. And so he wouldn't give any indication of Jeffrey, but...
Yeah, like Jeffrey is he's a whole...
He's not gonna be the butler with the thing on his arm, coming up saying, he don't have no, bringing you a drink.
Little penguin suit. No, he's like... the dude who's just always around that fixes things.
The fixer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have Ali Solotan, who plays Carlton.
Got it.
Great job at him playing Carlton.
Okay. Yeah.
Great job.
I've heard he's good.
You have Adrian Holmes, who plays Philip Banks. You have April Parker Jones, who plays Viola, which is Will Smith's mom. Coco Jones, who's a social media person.
Okay.
She plays Hillary Banks.
Oh, Hillary.
She does really good at that, because they changed Hillary from being like the ditzy girl to being someone who is I'm trying to, like, I don't want anything from daddy. I want to do it myself. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
And then you have Akira Akbar, who is playing Ashley Banks, but you don't really get to know Ashley so far, because it's only on this like 4th episode. Okay. So you don't really get to know much about Ashley, because she's like the little kid in it. Mm-hmm. But it's really good. So what they did was they made Uncle Phil an alpha. So you remember when we were talking before about the whole situation where there was Insecure, where the AKAs were feeling some type of way. Mm-hmm. So Aunt Viv is an AKA.
Okay.
But she doesn't say AKA. She uses a whole nother Greek alphabet. But when she has a little gathering at her house,
everybody's in pink.
Everybody is in pink and green.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Everybody, and there's no AKA or anything. There's nothing like that in there. But everybody has some kind of shade of pink on or some kind of shade of green.
Got it.
Now with Uncle Phil being an alpha, I'm guessing that this actor actually is an alpha, because they have alphas in the show,
and they're wearing the insignias.
Yes,
things like that. Okay,
and he does it's cold in here. Like he does everything. Yeah. So, but he's an alpha. So he has the country boy. He's the country boy that's now a successful lawyer that's running for like city council.
Okay.
And what it is that now that he is becoming this person and he's constantly busy, it's the way that people see him now. Mm-hmm. That grew up with him. They were just like, but you used to be Yamacraw from North Carolina, so now you're Philip Banks from Bel-Air, and he's just like, but I'm still the same person.
Right. It's just how other people perceive you
exactly.
versus how you
exactly.
perceive
And then
yourself.
like he's talking to a minister, and the minister's just like, well, I mean, but you weren't there for this, and you weren't there for that. You've changed. And he was like, so you trying to tell me that because I'm successful, I'm a successful person, that I'm not the same person?
Right, right. You want me to struggle for my whole life?
He was like, but I mean, he said, I made sure that when I left the farm, that I was going to go ahead and make something for my name and for my family and make sure I provide for them. They never need to want anything, because that's what I had.
Yeah.
And there's, so I do like how they have that aspect.
Okay.
Where in Fresh Prince, it was like
he was always,
just so snooty and uppity, and like we don't talk about that.
Right, exactly. No, that's good.
Aunt Viv is a strong black woman that was born in Philly, but she's now trying to conform to the Bel-Air lifestyle. Okay. But she still got that hood in her.
Oh, gotcha.
She still got that hood in her. Which I like to call now she's Bougetto.
Oh, not Bougetto.
Yeah. So, but she's like that's what it is, because she's like, something happens, and immediately she's just like, who did what, when, where, and why? Like, she's like, she automatically like neck rolling and everything, but she can snap out of it and just be like, yes, what can I do for you?
Gotcha.
Yeah. So she does really good at playing that character. Carlton is a whitewashed token black guy.
Okay.
But an asshole, and he knows that his family is not just going to give him everything, that he has to work for it, but he he is not the same person that his father is. He knows that his father had to work for his to get his. The only reason that Carlton is being like that, he's like, well, I have to work to get mine because my dad's not going to give me anything. But I'm got a silver spoon. And like, you know,
and I'm going to use all the privileges of that.
Yeah. And like so he's like he's like the president of like the sophomore class or something like that. So like everybody loves him. He plays lacrosse. Like but then also he doesn't see the disrespectful things that the white people are doing in front of him because he's just like, oh, I mean, I've known them for forever. I don't see anything.
Oh, okay. So he just is oblivious to things because he feels like it doesn't impact or affect me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Personally.
But anybody else, it can. And then, like I told you, Hillary, she ends up being a college dropout. But she dropped out to follow her passion of doing upscale soul food. Yeah. Okay. So it's called like haute cuisine. H-A-U-T. Yeah.
Okay.
Haute cuisine, and like she's talking about that, but then what the issue is now that's going on is just like her and her mother are not seeing eye to eye because her mother wants her to go back to school. So, and then like I said, Ashley, you really don't know like anything about her because she's only like 14.
Yeah, and they may end up pulling her storyline in later.
Yeah,
you know,
they may.
So that you can see an episode.
Oh yeah, because you know they're gonna have to go through. Like I'm pretty sure they're gonna go through the motions of everything that happened on Fresh Prince, like with Ashley, with the little boy who was like trying to holler at Ashley, and then Will Smith was like, "Look, all right." He can't get the cheese. Like, you know, you can't get the cheese. You gotta tell him not to cheese. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I remember that stuff. But yeah, but no, it is really good. The kid who's playing Will Smith does a great job. And like the storyline of how he ends up, like how it went from the sitcom to where it's like jokingly like, yeah, I was playing on the playground, and then, you know, this thug dude came up to me, he was a drug dealer, and then, you know, I got into a little fight. No, they go into depth of him and his boy Trey were there, and they were playing basketball, and this one guy was just like, hey, I got, you know, I got money on my boys that they can beat you, Will, who's about to go to VCU and live in Virginia. Yes, they shout out VCU.
Oh my God, shout out VCU.
But yeah,
Ram in the house.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you're supposed to be going to VCU and blah, blah, blah. So they were just like, oh, yeah, little college boy, you know, you think you all that because you can, you know, go ahead and leave the hood and blah, blah, blah. So he was just like, all right, fine. Like, all right, you going $200? All right, that's fine. You know, like, give me, I want it in 20s. You know, so, and then they was like, okay, so the guy now says, all right, well, if you lose the game, then you have to work for me. So what ends up happening, one of the guys who was with the drug dealer ends up losing, gets mad, goes to throw the basketball at Will, misses Will, hits his boy, the drug dealer.
Oh, gosh.
So now what happens? All those guys with the drug dealer go and start beating up Will and his friend.
Trying to act like they did it.
No. I mean,
just
like,
start beating them up.
They just start beating them up because,
okay.
because they're thinking that, like, Will, like, threw the ball.
Right.
Or, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That they did it, that they threw the ball. Right.
So, and then it goes from there, and it goes into Will pulling out a gun from a book bag that was his friend's book bag, and, like, shooting it in the air because his friend is getting beat so bad, and he's screaming and crying Will's name.
Yeah.
So he shoots a gun in the air, and then from there,
it all goes down.
The dude turns around and was like, oh, what, you gonna shoot me? So now Will's holding the gun on him, like, you know, like, and then cops come. Now what happens? Now he has to go to jail because he has a gun, and so it's...
Got it. So it goes into a different, more dramatic
dramatic, yes.
Which is probably more dramatic than what actually happened in regards to the
real
way
life?
that they did it for the Fresh Prince.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
because
this
on
is
the
more
Fresh,
dramatic.
on the Fresh Prince, it was just like, oh, I got into a little fight.
Yeah.
I got into a fight.
Exactly. And they sent him to Bel-Air. So is he still in Bel-Air, like California? So they literally moved him from where he was in Philly,
literally, like,
all the way across the country to Bel-Air
Uncle
again.
Phil got him out of jail.
Got it.
And his mother came to pick him up, and she literally said, like, she passes by the exit for their house. He's like, Mom, where are we going? She's like, you're going to stay with your uncle.
You're going straight to the airport.
She takes him straight to the airport. He's crying. He's upset. Like, so, but I mean, the whole thing of how deep it gets with that, how
Yeah.
deep it gets with, the, was it affluentness or whatever, where people who are
Yeah, the
have mommy and
well-to-dos,
daddy's money
yeah.
and they just like they can do no wrong, goes into that. It goes
So it's the
in,
upper class, lower class, middle class, all the classes.
it goes into
all of that.
the upper class black person who, it doesn't matter if you are upper class black to lower class black people.
Yeah.
You better than. It's like, no, but I'm still the same person. I just got money.
Right, right.
And then,
but then it just
to
looks different.
the upper
yeah.
class white people, they're just like, oh, you're not like the rest of them. So
yeah.
it goes into so many different things, and I
Layers.
really, so many layers, and I really do like the show. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely
I
check it
haven't
out.
started watching it yet. I've heard good things about it though, and the dramatics of
Yeah.
it all. And from what I can recall, everybody who's on there, there's no like true name players. Like you went through the cast. I don't know any of those names.
The only one is probably Coco Jones, but the only reason is because people would know Coco Jones from social media and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That'd probably
being
be
an
the
influencer or
like,
something.
yeah, she's an influencer, so that's
Yeah.
probably the only reason why. But yeah, everybody else is not a person who is
recognized. Yeah, I think everybody was kind of discovered,
Yeah.
especially the one who plays Will. I
Yeah.
don't know if he was ever in anything
I
else,
don't know,
but
sure.
he,
But yeah,
was
but no,
discovered.
everybody go check it out. It's
Yeah.
called Bel-Air and it's on Peacock.
Peacock. All right, great, thank you.
So what you got next?
So I had Mary J. Blige, her documentary, but I'm going to save that for another time because we just don't
Okay,
have the time.
okay.
I can't do it justice in
I
5
got you.
minutes.
I got you.
can't do it
I understand
justice.
that because it was real. It was real
really
love.
real.
It was real love.
It was real. It was real. So I'm going to talk about that documentary next week. But what I want to talk about, because I'm going to keep it light. So we
Okay.
talked about Abott Elementary and that being like a comedy show on TV. So I'm going to talk about Kenan.
Okay.
On
Yeah,
Peacock
that's
or
your show,
NBC or Hulu, depending on which
Yeah,
way you want to
whichever way
watch
you
it.
watch it,
So
yeah.
it's live on NBC. You can watch it the next day on Hulu, and then it's also streaming on Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
At least the second season. The
Because
first
Peacock
season
is NBC's channel.
NBC's own personal channel. So Kenan, from Kenan and Kel, or Kel and Kenan, I can't even remember
Yes,
which
Kenan
direction it
Kel,
was
and
from
then
before.
SNL.
He's on SNL, Kenan
Yeah.
Thompson, and so he plays the title character on the show. Now, just a little backstory about Kenan. Kenan is the one SNL character or person who's been on that show the longest in SNL history.
Yeah.
It's like almost 20 years.
I swear,
he's
it's so
been on there
Him and Lauren Michaels must be like hanging out all the time.
forever. And
Yeah.
Lauren Michaels must just love it.
Just
Like,
love
it
him.
could be something about Kenan that just makes him laugh. Because
Yeah.
to me, I like Kenan.
I don't
He's
like
silly.
Kenan. I
I
don't-
like him.
I
But you know
don't.
what? It's endearing to me because he will laugh at himself. Like,
Yeah,
he'll
yeah.
just be smirking
Yeah.
while he's trying to tell the story or doing whatever.
Yeah,
and that just cracks me up.
Yeah,
So
but I mean-
I personally think he's
Yeah, I mean, like the only things that I like that Kenan does on SNL is the "What's up with that?" What's up with that? Yeah, that and when he
Wee.
does what's his name? When he does Steve Harvey.
Oh, yeah. He does Steve Harvey, plays game shows and
Yeah,
things like
other
that.
than that,
yeah.
I think he's kind of corny. But I mean, but
He's just, like I said, he's endearing to me. So
Yeah.
anyway, so Kenan on Peacock, it's a lot of the same energy of him from SNL, but he basically plays a local Atlanta TV personality who has Wake Up with Kenan is the name of his show. And so basically he's on this show trying to juggle being a single dad because his wife passed away, unfortunately. And so he's raising 2 daughters. He has his brother, who's his manager, played by Chris Redd, who's also on SNL. So he plays his brother on the show, and his manager, who is absolutely horrible at being a manager. Like, he is
absolutely.
not, good at it
if I need a manager, it's gonna be you. Not gonna be Stu. Stu, I love you. Shout out to you.
Shout out to
Bro, not gonna happen.
But and then so his manager's a little clueless, doesn't know how to do all the things that you need to do and to get him out there and to get him the work and all of that. He's more riding on Kenan's coattails than actually working and hustling for Kenan. And then his father-in-law is played by Don Johnson, and he plays Rick. And so Rick basically lives there with Kenan to help take care of the children because the 2 girls, their mom passed away. I can't remember. I think it might have been cancer as to how the mother passed away. But he and the mom used to be on a TV show together when he was younger.
And then his wife was mixed, or she was a white lady.
She was biracial.
She was biracial.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, what happened is that she ended up. They were on a TV show together, and it was a really weird scenario to that because I think she like played his mom or something like that, but he was too old to be playing the kid.
The kid, yeah.
And so they ended up dating, and they had to keep it quiet, and the whole 9 yards. They have a whole episode about that. Kenan was also in a boy group, like a boy band, so they have a whole episode about that. And one of the Waynans kids shows up, to be in part of the boy band with him. I think it's Damon Waynan's son. So basically, it's just funny. So many weird situations that he gets himself in. He is kind of hanging out with the producer of the show. So she is a woman who's on there that, they kind of have a teeny bit of chemistry from what I've seen so far. But then he's just like, look, I don't know if I'm even ready to get out here because his wife's been gone for a while. She actually passed away a while ago, but he's not over it. He just really, when do you ever get over it? But it's more like he is just not really ready to put himself out there just yet.
And then
but
his kids
if
are
he
young,
does, then it's okay. His daughters are like early teens, like 12 or something like that. Preteen to probably preteen ages. Yeah. And so they try his nerves and patience. Like one of them, he was like, "Do it, or I'm gonna take away your phone." She was like, "Here you go. Yeah. I'm gonna take away your laptop." All right.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna take away your bed.
That's hating. That's hating.
So the girl is like literally sitting on the floor, and he was like, "This did not work out like I planned," because she still didn't do it. So anyway, so it's a cute show. So I just wanted to let everybody know. But Kenan on NBC is the Kenan with his brother. You got Don Johnson on there, which a lot of women are probably just watching solely for the Don Johnson factor.
Don Johnson was also the father of Rainbow. Tracy Ellis Ross?
That was one of the other brothers. What is it? Jeff Bridges. One of the Bridges.
One of the Bridges. Okay.
Yeah, one of the Bridges brothers. Yeah. So, but anywho, that's just what I wanted to share. Oh, Mika is the name of the producer. I couldn't think of the name of the producer, but Mika. And so, anyway, but it's a really good show.
But it can build up to them having a relationship or something like that.
Yeah.
So they leave it open.
They do. That, They basically have it where they kind of get on each other's nerves, but then they understand each other more than anybody else kind of scenario.
Yeah, I understand that.
That's kind of where it goes, and his brother's just a little all over the place. Bless his heart. So bless his little heart.
Bless his little heart. His little pudding heart. Aww.
So anyway, but that's it.
But look, I do want to throw out one thing really quick.
Okay.
I'm going to mention this next week, the Mrs. Pat Show. She did get picked up for a second season.
Oh, good. Okay.
Applause for that. I love Mrs. Pat because she is the comedian that she doesn't care what anybody else says about her or anything about the conforms of like being a female comedian. She is like, yeah, I used to sell crack when I was younger. Like I used to, she keeps it real. But she makes a joke out of it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Like shout out to Miss Pat for
another season. And what is she on?
She is on BET Plus.
Okay, got it. All right, great. Well, thanks everybody for joining us again this week on Sestra-Tainment. Everybody have a wonderful day. We'll see you again next Sunday.
Bye.
Bye.